the strangest thing, I went to record and I asked a question because and whatever happened was my phone was like glitching on the sound, and it chose a 23-second thing, and then it just took over the sound, stopped my video, and then whatever was recorded for 23 seconds, my voice didn't even show up. Okay, so what I had originally asked was, because this person is, it's taking them a lot of strength to hold back right now from coming towards you. It's taking a lot of strength. And I said, well, why are they even holding back? And because it's coming back to, will this work? Okay, they're asking themselves some pretty deep questions here. Is this my happiness? Can this be happiness? Right? Like they possibly are comparing it to past relationships here. Okay, and now that can really be tough and difficult when we're trying to move into new cycles and have new connections and things like that. We can't take the past with us, right? So I don't necessarily feel like this person is like trying to bring the past with them here, but there is some sort of like stress. There's this, like, they're calling it a delicacy. Like this person is treating this connection very delicately, right? They're trying to be, they're trying to approach it differently, right? They're trying to be practical, logical, but apply the heart here, apply the intuition with it. Okay, so this is the first time, possibly for both of you, where you guys are kind of like weighing not only your options, but allowing yourselves to step into a different, better version of yourself that is being realistic, right? It's actually trying to allow yourself out of the fantasy and saying, okay, if I choose this, how is it going to work, right? Because right now, this looks like my ultimate fulfillment, but there's a little bit of this kind of like burdensome energy here that needs to be released in the mind, right? In the subconscious mind, around past disappointments, past illusions, confusions about how this would work, how it would work. So this person seems to be stressed out about how it would work, although the underlying energy is, my intuition, my heart is saying that this is it. This is my person. And all they do is fantasize about you. All they do is want to come to you. You're sexy, you're magnetic, they can't get enough of you. You're alluring. It's an alluring energy here that you give off for this person, okay? But it goes deeper than the attraction. That's the thing. Like, it's not physical, okay? And it is physical, but it's beyond the physical, right? So the reason that this energy showed up, my beautiful angels, and look at where we started here with the Ace of Pentacles. My son came over here and he was coughing. You might have picked it up as the background noise. And he's like, I'm coughing and my throat hurts and my heart hurts. And I'm like, my God, why does your heart hurt? And he goes, I'm cold. So he just like is trying to describe things. But like that kind of like resonates with this energy here, right? Where like they're coughing. There could be a blocked throat chakra, right? They're trying so hard to stop themselves from coming forward, from following their heart to give this offer. But they're stopping themselves. They're kind of burdened in it, and it's heavy, right? It's a heavy energy. It's a heavy energy. Distractions are big here. Maybe children as well. Maybe that's another burden. Are there children involved? We'll work with children, blending families. I think a lot of this is God is coming into their life and awakening them to their fears that's blocking them from just confidently creating this change, right? So it's this lingering thing about wondering if it'll work, right? Should I give to this? How to give to this? Is it balanced? If I should give to this, if I should give to this. There's an emperor here. Okay, so again, the vision that I saw in my mind, this this man holding this woman's hands, okay? Now this is just for ease of speaking, how I channeled and things like that. Place yourself where you will with that. But we do have the Emperor showing up here, okay? There's a major rebirth that's happening here, and or about to, where they are going to have a rebirth and take charge and stop just wondering. They're going to actually make a choice to follow their happiness here. It's like, as I'm in this energy and I continue to get distracted, and the channel is here, but I think that's a lot of this energy, this person's energy, possibly even your energy, right? Where there's a lot of moving parts that's currently happening here, okay? And they're telling me this is not the end. This is not the end. The end of what? Influences, laughter fell over the Ten of Wands and the Ace of Cups. This is about both of you letting yourselves laugh again. Laugh in love. Open your heart enough. That's why there's a heart expansion that's happening here. So now this could be the current energy, because this is another layer that needs to, they're telling me, dissolve. This is another layer that needs to move forward, that needs to transition, maybe for a union to come into place here, for you guys to actually fully connect. There's a lot of things that needed to still continue to be resolved within probably personal matters, within personal cycles. The burden of truly opening the heart and allowing laughter, love, innocence, wonder back into the heart, right? That purity of essence, of innocence, right? Of just allowing yourself to just trust and be wholeheartedly in love again. Right? Because once we've been hurt in love, it's really hard to get back to that space of true innocence, right? And I think that's where God and your cycles are really guiding you to, is to a place of purity, right? Purity. So that you guys can laugh again, right? So there can be a complete rebirth in the way that both of you guys approach love, relationships, connection, attraction, right? Working together, collaborating, right? Collaborating, teamwork. How can you make this work? How is this going to be long-term success, right? How is this successfully going to work? Okay. And I think that's actually really smart of this person, right? That's really like that's somebody that holds a lot of integrity, right? That holds a lot of personal power to allow themselves the strength to restrain and say, I want to be practical here, and I want to make sure that I'm not just being impulsive, right? Because impulsivity in love can sometimes actually bite us in the butt, right? We're kind of like stabbing ourselves in the foot, right? Without understanding and allowing ourselves to access that long term, right? Like, are we making the right investment? Sometimes we're so hot and heavy, and we make very impulsive moves here. This person is not impulsive, okay? So although it might feel like it's going slow, or it may feel like, okay, this person is like curious, like, are we going to move forward? Can I make this work? That's actually sexy AF, right? That's just my perspective, right? Like, I find that to be really admirable for somebody to hold that standard, not only for themselves, but for the entirety of their life, right? So at the end of the day, allow the emotions to continue to move, right? Allow both of yourselves to continue to expand here, because this is a very powerful manifestation that's being called in right now on both of your behalves, and you already feel it, right? You already feel it. And I got back into this channel, and I want to go into a part 3, okay?